the one person in existence that knows this story has gone to the other side. I'm going to share something that I have not told anyone on the entire planet. The reason I'm sharing this story is because I want you to start paying attention to the signs and the things that you're getting all the time that are critical, because we are one, we are connected, and we know things. And when we get these messages, we have the opportunity to change a lot of things in our lives. The gut feelings, the intuition, the dreams, the things that you just know. You must go with them. I'm going to share a story with you, something that happened to me that was critical. It was life-changing. In fact, it saved somebody's life, my mother's. I want to share it with you because I want you to know that these abilities rest with you and you need to listen to them. Join me for this story that could help you moving forward in so many positive ways. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through the fears and live an amazing life. What are signs? We're getting them all the time. We're always getting answers, we're always getting guidance, we're always getting everything. Nothing comes to you unless you invite it. Free will means that nothing can interfere with what you believe and think and choose, including what somebody else wants. Fall in love with me. And you don't want to. It's not going to happen. But here's the deal. We have angels and protectors and all kinds of help at all times, waiting to help us. Yes, we're here for you. But because of free will, you have to choose them. Why? Because we have to learn things and evolve on our own in order for us to say, I'm ready for that help. I want that help. Now, there are a lot of things that are going to happen that I know so many of you have experienced this. I'm going to tell you a story that happened to me back in my 20s, a long time ago. Well, maybe not so long. I remember my mother and father had separated. This was my brother and I. We had an amazing childhood. We were an amazing family, wonderful parents. But my parents, who had gotten married really young, were finding themselves. So after we left, they were exploring all these places and things that they were, that we were not able to give to them as a family unit because they'd never really grown up. So they separated. And so my father had moved down south and my mother was at her house feeling very depressed. Now, I was worried about her, but I have to tell you, I felt pretty good about the time that I spoke to her and said, how are you doing? Are you okay? It never ran through my mind that my mother was suicidal. There were no signs of that, other than depression. I guess that would be a sign, but no, I'm thinking my mom she's such a lively, amazing, funny person. But my mom, she was sinking into really low levels. I remember talking to my mom one day and saying, how are you doing? And she said, fine. And we had a really nice conversation. When I got off of the phone, I felt really odd. Even though the conversation was really positive, that night I had a dream that my mother killed herself. And in the dream, she actually spoke to me from the other side. I actually spoke to her and said, oh my God, why did you do this? And we had a conversation. The next morning, I called my mother and I didn't get an answer. I called my brother, who's now deceased, and I said, I don't care what my mom says, our mother says, you need to go over there. I want you to call there and I want you to go over there if you don't get an answer. Well, he phoned and there was no answer. I told him to go over there immediately. I was down in Georgia. He was up in Michigan. He went over there and he found that my mother had tried to kill herself. Fortunately, she did it with pills. He called emergency and they took her into the hospital and they had to pump her stomach. So I came there and actually was with her. But I have to tell you something. I knew that she didn't really want to kill herself because the vibes that I was getting and that whole premonition that I got was that she really wanted to die, but not really. She was in that deep, dark place. I don't know if you're feeling this, but the truth is that everybody's been to that deep, dark place, maybe even the dark night of the soul. Other people are always picking up on your energy. Those who love you. We are one. Now, my mother got her stomach pumped and then went into some therapy. But the bottom line is that we're so connected. If I had not paid attention to that dream that I had, called my brother and made him go over, he might have gone over there maybe hours later. You know, okay, mom's not home, and didn't know that I'd had that dream or that conversation with her. Because he said, I had a conversation with her. She sounded fine. Hours counted. She would have died. I want to ask you something right now. Everything is a message to you. You're constantly getting signs. You are constantly tuned into everything at all times. Don't ignore this. I want to tell you this because so many of you are going to a dark place. I think it's so important to connect to other people and know that you don't want to go into that dark place. And even if you're feeling it, other people can help pull you out. Other people can help elevate your frequency. This is a very trying time for a lot of people who have not believed in themselves up to this point. So if you have not been working on yourself and believing that you can manifest anything, you might be suffering the consequences. And I mean this not in a negative way, suffering the effects of the decisions you've made up to this point. So let's say you've been relying on somebody else to take care of you, and that person no longer can take care of you because of the economy. This is your lesson. It doesn't need to be a negative one. It's time to reach out to other people. It's time to ask for help. It's time for you to pay attention to the signs of what you're feeling and thinking about other people. I can actually speak to people, and I am an intuitive, but so are you. When you speak to somebody, no matter what they're saying, you know what's going on. I knew when I spoke to my mother, I felt like something else was going on. And that dream that I had with her actually already being dead, talking to me, was blatant. We are so connected to one another in ways that we can't even possibly imagine. Don't be afraid of that. It's not mystical. It's not mysterious. It's not scary. You have abilities. Go with your feelings. Is there somebody that you talk to that you can help? Extend yourself. Those words are something that you do might change, literally, their life. My brother has since passed. Now I'll share with you what happened there. My brother was found days after he died. But I asked his son, my nephew, when did they find him? It was on a Sunday. I said, how long had he been dead? And they said, a couple days. I said, no. He died on Wednesday. He said, why did you say that? And I said, I had a dream. I knew that my brother, something had happened on Wednesday. I actually tried to call him. But my brother was in the habit of not communicating with people. He was in this really isolated kind of space. So it was not unusual. But my nephew said, I knew he died Wednesday also. So, you will know things, and no matter what anybody tells you out there, you know what the truth is. It's beyond human material explanation. Start listening to the signs. My brother sat for days without somebody finding him because he isolated himself. And there was a lot going on in our family. I was down here, his nephew, there was a wedding going on. It was not unusual. But I knew and he knew when my brother passed. I'm asking you right now, what are you feeling and thinking about yourself or others that you need to tune into and pay attention to? Is there somebody that's telling you one thing and you're feeling something else? Reach out to them. You could be the catalyst, the change, the difference between life and death. You're whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Nothing is by accident. Everything has purpose. It's all amazing. And when you look back and you realize, I just sort of knew all of this. That's real. You have unlimited powers, my friend. Namaste.